Transformers Rise of the Beast. Should you nut to it? Well, before we answer that, let's go and talk about it for a little bit. So, right off the bat, the first thing I will say is if you're going into this movie with like a casual mindset, like you're more of like a casual Transformers watcher, honestly, I think you're really going to enjoy the movie. It is a very, very good movie, coming with that kind of state of mind. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the movie itself. I gotta say, man, is very, very good. I do like the way it opens. The only kind of sucky thing is it sucks that it opens with the Maximals, but then we don't see them again until like close to the end of the film. So with that being said, although I should have been saying this from the beginning, if you're seeing a gameplay of Transformers Fall of Cybertron, that's all I can really use. Or if not, I'm probably going to use some footage from Beast Wars just to have that play in the background while I talk about the movie. One thing I will mention too, there will be some spoilers. So, I mean, I kind of already missed that one up. But yeah, so let's go and talk about the movie. So, again, like it opened up with the Maximals. We see Scourge, and I gotta say, I think they actually did a really good job on Scourge. When we do see him transform, I think they got him pretty well. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think in the original G1, he was like a giant wrecker. If I'm not mistaken, I think so. It's actually been a while since I've seen G1. But, I mean, damn it. I think they did a really good job with Scourge. Unicron actually sounded pretty damn amazing. One thing I do want to say right off the bat, too. When I originally saw the trailer and finding out that they never really got in contact with Big Dick Gary Choke to do Optimus Primal, I was kind of disappointed about that. Like, that I was actually kind of upset. I'm like, man, that sucks. Like, they got Peter Cullen to do Optimus Prime, but, like, really, you couldn't reach out to Gary Choke? Like, come on, man, it's Big Dick Gary Choke. But, oh, well. But I was glad to be proven wrong about Ron Perlman. He actually did a very, very good job on Optimus Primal. So that's one thing I wanted to get out of the way as well. Another thing is, this movie does lose a few points because with the human characters, they're kind of unforgettable. Like, I actually don't even remember their names. I do want to see the movie again, but I do not remember their names. If anything, I definitely like the Mexican guy the most. I mean, he was pretty cool. You know, I like this whole relationship with his little brother. That was pretty badass. But when it came to like the black chick, it kind of just felt like she was kind of just there, but she was useful in the sense of, you know, she's got like that background of like geography or whatever it is. You know, she could tell everyone where they go and stuff like that. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I think honestly, man, she was probably the most forgettable character. I didn't really care for her, but it's whatever. But getting back on point again, basically the whole point of this movie is everyone's fighting over the trans warp key. Basically, it'll give Unicron, I believe, the power to like go back and just devour more planets. Again, I've only seen this movie once, and I'm getting pretty old, so my memory is not the best. But so, getting back to it. One thing I do want to cover next is the movie's audio. I thought it was pretty good, although really I can't really say that I should be saying that. Because again, I mean, this movie theater was blasting, so it would have to be something that I would have to further get into detail, like actually put on some headphones at home, along comparing with my speakers to see what exactly I can hear. But from the 3D audio we were getting from the theater, it's actually amazing. Like, you can hear everything, little background noises. It's actually really, really good, but with how loud it is, you really can't tell. Like, sometimes it's a little overwhelming and you really can't focus on the audio itself. But I mean, on that, I think the audio was still pretty good, so doesn't lose any points there. I like the way it was. Going along with the audio is the soundtrack. As far as an OST, I don't really think they had too many original tracks. Again, that I could be wrong. If anything, one thing I noticed is they kept using a lot of like rap songs, which I mean wasn't too bad. I mean, like, I definitely heard Notorious B.I.G.'s "Hypnotize" a few times. Some other rap song. I mean, it was all right. Don't get me wrong. It was good, but for the most part, I feel like some of the songs that they chose like just didn't really fit. But I mean, I'm not really gonna bitch about it. I mean, sometimes it kind of fit it, sometimes it didn't. But oh well. So moving on next. When it comes to the actual quality of the movie, it's very, very good. Definitely one of the best looking ones. There are a few instances, if I'm not mistaken, there's a certain scene like when Optimus Prime's like he's kind of being lit up by the fire after like, you know, after him and his team get their ass kicked by Scourge. You can kind of tell where it looks a little, I guess, low quality. Like if anything, because most of the time we see these Transformers films, they definitely look real. But in certain scenes of this movie, you can kind of tell like, oh, okay, yeah, the CG animation isn't really looking all that good. But it's very, those little scenes are very few and far in between. So really, I'm not going to deduct any points from that. It's still really good. I love the visuals. It's an amazing looking movie. One thing I will say, a little bit of spoiler too. We do see a character named Air Razor, and as far as I remember, she doesn't actually transform or maximize. So one thing I will say about that too, speaking of maximize, when it came to Optimus Primal, Ron Perlman, bro, I gotta give him credit. He did an amazing job just screaming, Maximals, maximize! Like, he did a good job. Like, that got me wet. So I'll give it that. That's actually really, really good. But one thing I do want to talk about next is actually the pacing of the movie. I actually think it actually had some of the best pacing out of all the films. Because before this, I had seen the movie Bumblebee, and that one had some shit pacing, man. And the reason I complain about that, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good. I did like the fight scenes, the way it opens. It has an amazing opening. Definitely one of the best openings to a Transformers movie. The only thing is, man, they focused way too much on that family drama. Like, I don't remember her name either, but I don't care about this little bitch and her stupid fucking family. I just want to see more of Bumblebee. I want to see more of these Transformers. I want to see them kicking each other's ass. And I don't know, but just seeing that, it kind of reminded me when I first saw fucking Godzilla King of the Monsters. They focused way too much on the family drama. Like, don't leave the humans alone. If you're going to throw a minimal story, just give them maybe like 15, 20 minutes max, and that's it. I want to see Godzilla fuck shit up. I want to see Bumblebee kick some ass. That's what I want to see. But getting back on point. But basically, I said the pacing was good. Like, the way I can kind of describe it was opening with action. Cool, I like that. Focus a little bit on the family, and then introduce the characters. The Mexican guy and his little brother, his mom. Well, the mom doesn't really matter, so I don't know why I even said that. Focus on the black chick and her job. Cool, let's get back to the action. Have a little bit of funny scenes. All right, come back, focus on them a little bit, go back to the action. So I thought that was actually really cool. So one thing I will say too, Bumblebee dies for a little bit. So does Mirage, which I thought was actually one of the coolest characters, even though at times he kind of be a little annoying, but for the most part, I actually did not mind him. I thought he was an amazing character. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is like the first Transformers films we actually got RC, which I thought was actually pretty badass. And if we did, I think she might have been in Revenge of the Fallen, but she was like, you barely knew she was even there, and she just gets taken out like it's nothing in the desert, if I'm not mistaken. But it was pretty cool to see her get some screen time. That was pretty badass. Other than that, I mean, also one thing, the main villain is Unicron. We all know Unicron. Like, Unicron's fucking crazy. I do like the way he sounded. I don't know who actually voiced him, but whoever did him did a very, very good job. Unfortunately, we don't see him transform, but that's all right. That's always something that can be done for another movie. But going on forward, like I said, eventually they do bring back Bumblebee, stuff like that. I'm only covering little certain things to the movie that definitely were like, that should hit hard for like a casual audience or casual person watching the movie. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, those little big moments like that definitely, like, they hit you hard, but once you see them come back, like, it's fucking badass. Like the scene where Mirage is covering the Mexican guy, and basically what ends up happening is, like, Mirage ends up like kind of like putting his parts onto the humans so they can kind of keep fighting. And for some reason, this is gonna sound stupid, but my thought set was thinking, I wonder if they're gonna be mentioning Metal Hawk. So for people who don't know, that's actually a character from, like, I believe from like a little series from the G1 era. I don't think it ever got localized here in America. I think it was mostly in Japan. But basically, there are Transformers who could basically take on like human shape and stuff like that. And basically, they're actually living among us and like protecting us and stuff like that. As far as I know, that's kind of like the little details I remember. But for some reason, I really thought that's what they were going for, especially with the ending of the movie. But let's put that off for right now for the side. But so, because I'm talking about these little key moments. And what's cool too is, I mean, I'm not explaining these in chronological order as they happen, kind of like just throwing them out there. One thing too is basically the I don't even think they even call them the Terracons or the Predacons, but I think they probably did. I just didn't really hear it. One thing, if I'm not mistaken, either they never really say terrorize when they transform, but then again, these were mostly like actual like Decepticons or something like that. Again, I'm not really too sure. I don't remember that much, but I'm pretty sure they don't say terrorize when they transform. So, kind of a missed opportunity, but oh well. But yeah, their whole point is to basically look for the trans warp key so that Unicron could have it and stuff like that. But the cool thing is, on Earth, they basically split the key in two. And like I said, unfortunately, we don't see the Maximals till much later in the movie. But, I mean, I thought they all looked pretty cool. And as far as I can remember, Rhinox doesn't actually, we don't actually hear him talk. But Cheetor, we definitely do. Optimus Primal, of course. Air Razor. Like I said, but unfortunately, she doesn't transform, which kind of sucks. But as far as that, I mean, everyone else pretty much talks, but I'm pretty sure Rhinox does not talk. But I mean, the movie, especially like the ending scenes, I mean, it's like almost nonstop action. Everyone's just kicking each other's ass, and bro, I mean, it's really really good. And pretty much towards the end, basically the Optimus Prime basically destroys, or I think along with the human, they destroyed the terminal to basically stop Unicron, send his ass back. Like, hey man, you ain't fucking with Earth. So that was actually pretty cool. Again, very good movie, very good cutscenes. One thing I should talk about too, speaking of Optimus Prime, his character is definitely a little bit different, different from what we're used to. Him being kind of calm, collective. Really, really doing a really good job on his leadership. But in this one, it's a little bit different. Like, he kind of seems a little bit edgy, or not so much edgy, but I mean, you can understand why he's being the way he is, why he doesn't want to trust the humans. He wants to save his home, which, I mean, if you really go into that mindset, I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, and there has been times where Optimus Prime really wants to save his home, but he'll still work with people if their worlds are in danger. First thing I can think right off the bat is Transformers Cybertron. The universe is in danger, black hole, Optimus Prime, the Autobots, they want to save the universe. So that's actually really cool. But other than that, that's pretty much what I really wanted to say about the movie. The one thing that I will say, and again, this is probably a spoiler alert, and I wouldn't be surprised they make this into a movie, but it's pretty cool because this is something that happened back in the 80s. And the only thing is, I don't think I ever watched it with my mom back then. I remember her telling me about it, but I think it's one of those things, if I tried asking her about it, she would only remember so many details. But, and this is one thing that I was talking about earlier when I mentioned Metal Hawk, for some reason, when that Mexican guy was going in for a job interview and he was just talking to this human, or the guy that was doing the interview, I don't know, just for some reason, I really thought it was going to be Metal Hawk. Although I was thinking like, okay, well, this dude looks nothing like Hawk, but all right, whatever. I mean, maybe they just wanted to change up the appearance, so I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And again, I know nothing about G.I. Joe. I'm not a G.I. Joe fan. So he ends up like getting like a little business card, like, hey, don't worry, like, we're going to take care of your little brother. He's going to be taken care of by like the best doctors in the world or some shit like that. And when he flips the card, it says G.I. Joe. And again, that is something that happened back in the 80s. Transformers working with the G.I. Joes, or G.I. Joe, which is pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a big G.I. Joe fan, but if it's got Transformers, I probably will enjoy it. So definitely look forward to that. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a movie. I don't know how well this movie did box office wise. I mean, I'm assuming it did really well. So plugging everything in, honestly, man, the more I think about it, this movie, I think I like it more than the very first one. And I actually love the very first Michael Bay Transformers movie. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, the only thing it kind of has over this one is I actually do remember the characters, Sam Witwicky. But then again, I think it's also because the celebrities helped them out too. Shia LaBeouf. These new ones, I don't even know who the hell they are. But I mean, the Mexican guy did a really good job. So did the little brother. I thought they did an amazing job. But I mean, plugging everything into, man, this movie's gonna get a 67 out of 69. It's gonna get a big ass nut. So should you nuts in the movie? Oh, fuck yeah, you should, man. It's a badass fucking movie. Dick gets fucking hard as fuck watching this shit. So yeah, that's my own little review on Transformers Rise of the Beast. Again, man, really check out this movie. But again, like I said before, if you go with the mindset of just being a casual Transformers enjoyer, I honestly think you're gonna enjoy the shit out of it. It's definitely a good movie. I can't wait to buy it on like a 4K Blu-ray disc. That I'm looking forward to. And yeah, so that was my own little review. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Thanks for watching. Night.